If you're looking for the perfect entry-level acoustic guitar, this might be it. Let's talk about it. My name is Jennison and I'm thinking about guitar, and today we're taking a look at this beautiful instrument from our friends at Veelah Guitars. Now, this guitar is part of the super affordable Vero series of instruments and comes in at the time of recording at 149 British pounds, which is wild. I've spent more than that on pairs of jeans, which is crazy. So this guitar, super affordable, a lot of instrument for the money. But first, let's talk a little bit about who Veelah are. Now, Veelah Guitars have been around since 1971, and in that time they've primarily focused on ghost building, which is the practice that brands like Cort do, where they'll build guitars for other brands to then pop their label on. So they've got a rich heritage of building great sounding, great feeling acoustic guitars. This is built in China, as are, to my knowledge, all of the Veelah guitars that are currently available. But as far as I'm aware, Veelah were one of the first brands to start making guitars in China. So they've been doing it for a very long time. Now, what is new about this is that Veelah are now releasing guitars under their own name. So while they are ostensibly a new brand to most of us, in reality, they're actually a legacy brand that have been going for a very long time and have a lot of experience when it comes to building guitars like this. Now, we'll talk more about the spec in just a second, but a very quick overview on this guitar. It's a 650mm scale model, which is 25.6 inches. It's all mahogany throughout. These are not solid woods. This is laminate construction, but it is £149. So really, what do you expect? Mahogany top, mahogany back and sides, Ferro bridge, Ferro fretboard. There are no pickups on this particular guitar, but other models in the same range are available with Fishman pickups. It's also available with or without a cutaway, and there's even a 3/4 scale version available for you smaller guitar players, or perhaps if you have a young guitar player in your life who's looking for their first instrument. Now, let's take another listen to this guitar before we get too nerdy. We played in the intro with quite a heavy flat pick, so let's switch to some fingers and see how this guitar responds to a more delicate touch. So now we've heard this guitar played with a pick and with some fingers, let's talk more about the spec, and we're going to begin by taking a closer look at the headstock. So as you can see from the headstock, this is very much a no-frills design, and on a guitar at this price point, I always take that as a good sign, because costs have to be cut somewhere, and I would much rather they were cut on the fancy visual aesthetics rather than on the functional stuff that really matters, i.e. the woods in this case and the construction. So headstock looks very attractive. It's a very traditional looking design, but it's very difficult to get a new headstock looking right. Veelah have done a great job here. We have a Veelah logo on the front, 3 side tuners. I'll flip it over and show you those. So here, what we have is Veelah branded, very solid feeling tuners. We can get a good look at the mahogany neck, which is nice and slim. It's quite traditional feeling. It's not a super slim neck, but it's also not a boat by any stretch of the imagination. So great for smaller hands. If you're a newer player or a younger player, you're looking for a very comfortable neck, this is a great choice. I can also flip it over and show you the fretboard, where we have a Ferro fretboard with some really attractive offset markers. Now, this is a nice visual touch that'll set this guitar apart from the crowd. Big fan of that, and also they're very visible. We also have some subtle but very easy to see side dots on the side of the neck. And if we take a look at the back, we can once again see this beautiful laminate mahogany and open pore finish, which looks really, really attractive, feels very nice. I'm also a big fan of thinner finishes like these satin finishes on acoustic guitars. I have this sort of pet theory that it helps the wood breathe a little bit more rather than big, thick gloss. We've got some very tasteful binding in black around both the front and back. I'll flip it over and show you the front. But we have quite an understated rosette. Again, nice touch here because this is a very affordable guitar and I'd much rather the money went on functional things rather than on flashy visual accoutrement. Once again, we have Ferro on the fretboard and on the bridge. It's a 14th fret join with a cutaway, so really good upper fret access. And this guitar actually does sound quite good in the upper registers. Although what I will say is this comes set up with what I might call a strummer's action. So it's a little higher than I would personally like it. So if you're more of a delicate player, you may want to have the bridge lowered just a little bit. That said, there are no buzzes. The intonation is very good. It does play well. It's just perhaps a little bit more geared towards songwriter style strumming, which again, I think this guitar absolutely excels at. So on that subject, let's take a listen to this guitar strummed heavy once again with a flat pick. So there you go, folks. That's been a look at the VGA ACMM from Veelah's Vero series of acoustic guitars. It comes with a gig bag, it plays great, looks fantastic, and costs absolute buttons compared to some other similarly spec'd entry-level acoustic guitars. If you're looking for a new guitar for a new player, or perhaps you want to dip your toe into the world of acoustic guitar, maybe you're an electric player that doesn't own an acoustic and you don't want to break the bank on your first one, then this is a really great choice. I love the mahogany. It sounds nice and warm, looks very attractive, feels really nice, it plays great, and most importantly, is ludicrously affordable. Once again, this guitar is from Veelah's Vero series. Go check them out. My name is Jennison, and I'm thinking about guitar.